Hello, this is Ross Bliley from the podcast Pigskin Tales. This podcast is sponsored by Sterling Soap Company. With products sold throughout 41 locations around the globe, Sterling Soap Company has a unique assortment of products to choose from for your loved one for the holidays. Handmade artisan soaps created by Roderick and Amanda Lovin since 2012, these products are affordable and provide great value. Act now and save on your shipping costs. If you purchase $75 or more, your shipping cost is free in the United States. Shop now online at sterlingsoap.com. Face off with Firefly Publishing for another drop into the fascinating world of pro hockey history with Hockey Hall of Fame True Stories 2. Following his bestseller, hockey historian and writer Eric Zwig opens the doors to the Pro Hockey Hall of Fame, revealing a treasure of untold tales, bizarre incidents, and captivating trivia that will leave the most devoted puckhead astounded. Just to name drop a few of the players he's included in this book are Wayne Gretzky, Jaromir Jagr, and Bobby Hull. Hockey Hall of Fame True Stories 2 is a must-read for pro hockey fans who crave more than just scores and statistics. Mr. Zwig invites you to uncover the true stories that have shaped the sport, ensuring that you will never look at the game of hockey the same way again. So skate on over to Amazon.com, Target, and Walmart to get your copy now.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. You can also find this on Mark's Memorabilia videos. So I wanted to switch gears a little bit today and talk about some sports memorabilia that I've collected throughout my life. I've done a few short videos before on sports memorabilia, which you can find on YouTube. Hoping that in about 2 weeks I will be able to do a longer version of this podcast with my friend Dave DiPaolo, who is also a sports memorabilia collector. So, I wanted to show some of the items that I've collected throughout the years. This first one, I took a picture of it. It's on my wall. There's a poster of Bob Lilly. As you can tell from my jersey, I'm a fan of Bob Lilly. Now these posters, I think I forgot to measure it. I think it's 24 by 36. These posters were very popular when I was a kid. This is going back to the early 1970s. These posters were usually not available in stores, and of course this is long before we had internet. Now you can just order everything online, but back then we would order these posters through various sports magazines. The sports magazines would have advertisements for all the different items you could order. One of the items, which I say was very popular, was the posters. So usually they would show all the names of the players that you could get, and they would only show, the only problem was they would only show, a sample picture, maybe one or two pictures. So you really didn't know what your poster was going to look like. So I ordered this poster through the mail. Probably cost maybe $1 at that time in the early 1970s. Probably another 75 cents for postage. And received it in the mail. And I also had, I think, maybe 4 other posters. I had one of Larry Zonka, one of Bob Hayes, one of Bob Tucker, tight end for the Giants. Those three survived until probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I finally had to throw them away because after so many years of getting moved from one location to another, and they would eventually get ripped up. I never thought to laminate my posters as my friend Dave DiPaolo did. I would just hang them on the walls and, use tacks or staples, and after so many years they would get damaged. But 2 of them did survive. This Bob Lilly one survived, which I have hanging in my washroom. I had nowhere else to put it. I also have one of Ron Johnson, running back for the New York Giants. So, the next item I would like to show. Let's see, I have so many different things. Now the problem, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I'm grateful to have all this stuff. But the problem with being a sports memorabilia collector is that it is very easy to get carried away, which I did. I collected a lot when I was a kid. I collected pretty much through my teenage years. And then when I got into my 20s, I no longer collected. Didn't really collect again until I think I was probably in my late 30s when I started collecting again. And the only reason I started collecting again is because I worked with a guy who was heavily into collecting. He was a big-time collector, and he got me back into it. So, that's really at the point where I got carried away and purchased way too much stuff. But like I say, I'm grateful to have it. It's just, where do you put it all? There's only so much room. As you can see, in my office here, I am a Dallas Cowboys fan, and, I put as much stuff on the walls as I can, but there's only so much room. Okay, so I'll show a few items. Here's a 1969 Topps rookie card of Larry Zonka. Next we have a nice thing now. In recent years, they've started to do a lot of remakes. This is not the original, but I never really got into, collecting. For me, I got into it because it was fun. It brings back childhood memories. I never really was concerned about the value of cards, or I didn't get into it for the money, This is a remake. I think this is a 1965 Topps. It's a remake of Joe Namath. The interesting thing about this card, I remember hearing Joe Namath tell a story about this. This is, I don't think he had even played a down for the Jets yet. He got out of college and had to have knee surgery before he joined the Jets. And one day he said they came walking into his hospital room with a camera and a football jersey and shoulder pads and said, "Here, throw this on. We got to take a picture of you for your football card." As you can tell, he looks a little bit sickly in this picture because he had just had surgery. But that's how they did things back then. We have another card here. It's a 1970 Topps baseball card of Jim Catfish Hunter. He was with the Oakland A's. Here's another card. I don't even remember what year this is. This is a Mickey Mantle card. Probably would be worth some money, but it's not in very good condition. The back of it doesn't even... some kind of game, I guess. So I don't even remember where I got this card or what year card it is. These are some interesting cards here. These were from 1976, and you could get these in popsicle boxes. They have the helmet with the logo and a picture. That one's of the old New England Patriots logo. That's the old Cincinnati Bengals helmet. Houston Oilers. And the Giants actually had two different helmets. I think they tried this one first. After they left Yankee Stadium. They wore this helmet for a little while and then switched over to this one. So, what else do we have here? We have another 1970. These were insert cards. You see one here, Bart Starr. I have one of Floyd Little. These were made by Topps, 1970. They were inserted into regular packs of cards, randomly inserted. I don't think you got one with every pack, but here's another interesting one. This is a very small item. You see John Brockington there. These, I think, were like... I think there was a candy called Sugar Daddy. I can't remember exactly what candy. It came from like a candy bar. They were inserted into the package. You opened up the package. And I don't know, what year is this? I think this is around 1974, it looks like. It says Nabisco on the back of it. Let's see what else I have here. I don't remember what year this card is. It's a rookie card. Oh, it says 1964. The first card of Willie Davis, Hall of Fame defensive end for the Green Bay Packers. That's from 1964. And we have, I don't know, maybe late 1950s or maybe around 1960. We have Chuck Bednarik, linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also played center. Here we have a rather valuable card. This is a rookie card of Pete Maravich. Hall of Fame basketball player. Played for the Atlanta Hawks at that time. And somehow I managed to have 7 of these. I don't know how I wound up with 7. Maybe I traded for them. I did like Pete Maravich a lot, I remember as a kid, so maybe I traded with someone. I wound up with 7 of these. I sold 6 of them and ended up making some pretty good money because it's a valuable card, but I wanted to make sure I kept one of them. Okay, what else do we have? We have some Sports Illustrated. Now, recently, I have been trying to sell some of my items because I just have way too much. Like I say, after a while, you just don't know what to do with it anymore. So recently, I put some items up for sale, and someone offered to trade with me, and I accepted that offer because I figured I can get rid of some things that I'm not really that attached to, and I picked up some things in the trade that I kind of liked. I was always kind of a fan of Lou Brock, Hall of Fame baseball player. That's a Sports Illustrated of Lou Brock, dated October 16, 1967. At the time, Sports Illustrated cost 40 cents. I also picked up this 1971, October 11th, we have Joe Green, Mean Joe Green, Hall of Famer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1971, the Steelers were not a very good football team. They had a history of losing, but the following year, 1972, is when they began to start their dynasty. 2 years later, 1972, 1973, they made it to the playoffs. They lost, didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but then 1974, from that point on, they won 4 Super Bowls. In the 1970s, we have this July 28th, 1969, we have Sonny Jurgensen and Vince Lombardi on the cover. Vince Lombardi had retired as the Packers coach, and a year later he decided he needed to get back to coaching. Coached the Redskins to their first winning season in, I think, maybe 15 years. Unfortunately, the following year, he died from cancer. You'll notice that the title on this, it says, "The Scalping Party Begins." Now, that would be extremely politically incorrect in today's world. At that time, 1969, people weren't as easily offended. They weren't as sensitive, and I don't think anyone batted an eye about that. Today, people would have a conniption over it. Here's another one. January 10th, 1966. We have the Green Bay Packers and the Cleveland Browns on the cover. That's Jim Taylor. This was the last NFL championship game that was pre-Super Bowl. The following year, they started playing the Super Bowl. We have another one here. I always liked the old Sports Illustrated covers, and they're actually not worth very much. I sold some of them, like these few I'm showing you. I was able to get maybe $15 a piece for them, and I made copies just to keep for myself. September 21st, 1970, we have Dick Butkus, who recently died not that long ago. It says, the most feared man in the game, Dick Butkus. Here's an autograph. I was never that big into collecting autographs, but this is Cliff Harris. I sent this to him in the mail, and he sent it back autographed. I was able to get quite a few of the Dallas Cowboys autographs through the mail. I went on eBay and happened to find someone was selling a list of Dallas Cowboys addresses, and it actually was not very expensive, so I got the list, and I wrote to some of the players and sent them something to sign, and most of them, not all of them, but say probably 80% of them sent back whatever I sent them and signed it. And actually didn't even really do that for myself. I did it for my son, who was only probably maybe 4 or 5 years old at the time. I figured when he got older, he would appreciate having all these autographs. And as it turned out, he could care less. He's not a football fan. Not really a sports fan. Here's another item. These are called MarketCom. The name of the company that made these, MarketCom. We have Randy White and Jack Lambert. These came out in I think they came out 3 years, 1980, 81, and 82. And most of them are not valuable. These two might be worth a little bit. Only because in 1982 they did not make very many of them. I have to excuse my coughing. I picked up a cold when I was on an airplane a couple of weeks ago coming back from a trip. The guy across from me was coughing and sneezing, and he gave me the cold. So what can you do? Sporting news, I think, is still in existence, but it was a lot different back then. It was in a newspaper form. These I picked up in a trade. This is Thurman Munson, the New York Yankees, dated August 18th, 1973. The price at that time was 60 cents. Have another sporting news here, Roy White. As you can tell by my hat, I am a Yankees fan. August 22, 1970, Roy White. I always like the artwork. This is pretty good artwork on this one. This is from Super Bowl 12. Broncos and Cowboys. Has Roger Staubach on the cover. And former Dallas Cowboy Craig Morton. That one is from 1978. And this one is from 1971. Super Bowl V, which was between the Dallas Cowboys and the Baltimore Colts. The Colts won that game. In the last seconds, Jim O'Brien kicked the winning field goal and broke my heart. All right, I think that'll do it for today. As I say, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have my friend Dave DiPaolo on with me, and he'll be showing a lot of his memorabilia as well. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. And God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com. Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.